Hey everyone, my name's Jessica once again, and this is going to be the first actual review that I'm doing of the online MBA program that I'm currently in. So I'm currently enrolled in the hybrid online MBA program through the University of Maryland University College. I'm stationed overseas in Okinawa, and that's why it's a hybrid program. I'm not sure if it's like that everywhere else in the world, but I would definitely recommend this program if you are looking for an online program that's cheaper, and especially if you are stationed overseas, because it's even cheaper. Okay, so today it's March 22nd, and my class ended 2 days ago. I got a B in the class. So how the grades worked, it was kind of subjective, however. So there were 6 projects for this first class. I was in Pro 600. And the first 3 projects I got B's on. So it's actually meets expectations or exceeds expectations, but meets means that you got a B, and exceeds means that you got an A. So for the first 3 projects, I got B's on, and then the fourth, or no, that's not true. Why did I say that? Okay, so the first, third, and fourth, I got B's. The second, fifth, and sixth projects, I got A's. I ended up with a B in the class. That was kind of up to the teacher. There's no weighting. There's no standards that say exactly how it's supposed to be weighted. So it was subjective, but that's how that worked. So we had 3 in-person lessons, and they were held at one of the education centers on the island. I think that the in-person sessions actually did help with student interaction. I thought that it made projects go smoother because we could collaborate just like a normal university. It was a little different because it was on like Saturdays, and some people couldn't stay the whole time. Some people couldn't come at all because they have busy lives, and the in-person classes weren't mandatory, so that's okay. But I think they did help, especially for me with the quantitative analysis project, which was project 4, because I'd never used the analysis portion, the analysis capabilities within Excel before, and I really liked having other people to ask, like, hey, how did you do this part, because I don't know. So that was good. I have notes here I'm reading off of that are guiding me. But if I don't cover something that you have a question about, feel free to ask in the comments, of course. So I do think that the most beneficial project for me was the quantitative analysis project, just because I didn't really understand how to analyze information within Excel before. I can definitely take information and analyze it, and that part wasn't a challenge for me because I do that kind of in my job anyways, but that was like the biggest takeaway from this class. So I will read off the projects real quick so you can get an understanding of what we went over in the first class. So the first one is identify core beliefs. We basically just wrote an essay on a core belief and why we believed it. It was kind of after the NPR, there was an NPR I don't know what it's called, like a challenge, like a segment that ran for a few years about that. I forgot what it was called. It was an interesting project, written from the first person, kind of weird for like a professional class, I thought, but interesting exercise. The second one, find trends in your profession. So that was the hardest actually for me and for a lot of people. A lot of people, including myself, got this project returned. So we got like does not meet expectations, and then we had to figure it out and resubmit it. I ended up getting an A afterwards, so it was fine, but it took the longest amount of time for me to complete this project. We basically had to choose an industry, talk about the 3 top trends within that industry, and then talk about a problem within one of the trends. So I chose the wireless monitoring devices industry, and then I talked about convenience, healthcare, and can't remember the third one. It was a while ago. But it was a good project, and definitely one of the hardest, just because, I don't know, kind of identifying the trends within the industry is the hardest part. And I know it doesn't sound that hard when I'm framing it like this. And I didn't think it was going to be hard either. But it was. So the third project was design your professional presence. So basically we had to write a mission statement for ourselves. And that culminated with the creation of a LinkedIn profile page, which that part wasn't graded. It was just like our personal mission statement. Like, hey, if you had to sell yourself in one paragraph, what would you write? So that project took the least amount of work, but it was a good project because you think about your professional presence. And then project 4, quantitative analysis, that was with Excel, the different functions within Excel, graphing and like analyzing data in different ways, and then applying that to logic and reason in a paper. And then project 5, apply critical thinking. We were given kind of a case study that happened within a fake company, and it asked you to identify the problems and provide solutions to the problems. And then finally, project 6 was work as a team. It was, we got together. This is part of the benefit of having a hybrid online program. So we got together with a few of the people. We broke into groups within our class. We had 3 people in my group. The other groups had 4 or 3, something like that. And we chose the Tylenol case study from 1982 to analyze, and we used it as a business model in order to, what's the phrase? It's crisis management. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. So it was a crisis management case study. So we used the Tylenol case study from 1982 to analyze how their company reacted to a crisis, and then to advise our fake company on how they should react in a crisis, and plans that they can put in place prior to in order to mitigate bad effects from crises, because crises are inevitable in business. So those are the 6 projects for the University of Maryland University College online/hybrid MBA program. Probably the same, I think exactly the same for the online. Obviously, it'll be different if you're doing a different online MBA program, but so how the University of Maryland University College works is they don't specialize in any specific specialty. I shouldn't have said that. But so it's literally just an MBA. Like, you don't get an MBA in international business or an MBA in finance or whatever the other categories are. So everyone takes the same classes. There are 6 classes total, and each class is 6 credits. So this class was 6 credits, and I'm about to start my next class on April 3rd in about 2 weeks. Also will be 6 credits, and also will be about 11 weeks long. Let's see what else I wrote. I actually do think my writing improved, because we did write 5 to 7 page papers like every other week. So in undergrad, I was not a bad writer. I've never been a bad writer, like throughout even like elementary and middle and high school. But this was a way to really refine professional writing, and I'm sure my writing will continue to get better as time goes on, because no one's perfect, and definitely not me. I'm like a 23-year-old kid, so I definitely think my writing got better. And the teacher was really good about providing feedback, like, hey, your sentence structure needs to be varied more. This is unsupported by facts. Like, it's kind of casual language here. You need to change it. Stuff like that. I thought that was pretty useful. So for online learning style, so my undergrad background is I went to a traditional 4-year, kind of not traditional, but a traditional 4-year college in the sense that anyone on here cares about, where, you sat in a classroom for 4 years and teachers taught you, and we had classes every day, and I didn't do anything else, didn't have a job. It was just that. It was school. But so online learning style, like currently I have work every single day, and how you learn is there are links on the website on your profile for each like project or segment of the course. The links, like, you either read stuff on their online textbooks or you watch videos about whatever it is. And how University of Maryland University College works, I'm going to call it UMUC because that's a long thing to say, is that they don't actually charge you for any of the course materials, which I really like. That makes it more affordable for me. So I really just would click on the links, and it'd be like talking about different economic terms, and I would read about what they were, and then I would apply them to my papers. And if you had a question, you could email the professor, and there's like discussion posts and stuff that you can like post and ask a question for the whole class. And the professor was good about replying to those and the emails as well. So I didn't feel like I didn't have access to her. but for the most part, you just kind of click on the links that they provide and read the information they provide and do it yourself. It is self-paced. I've always done better with structure in like a 4-year university type or style, because it's good to go to class every other day, and that keeps you on track because you have hard deadlines for each assignment that you have, and you're in person, and it's quite embarrassing and bad for other reasons if you don't have your assignment ready. But for this, University of Maryland, UMUC, I mean, especially, they actually don't have deadlines. They have like due dates, but they're recommended because through UMUC you have 3 attempts to complete each assignment that you have. But so, for example, say my class started January 3rd. Say the first assignment, that core belief essay, was due January 15th. That's the recommended due date. If I don't turn it in January 15th, I wasn't punished for that. So in general, you do have to hold yourself to the recommended standards if you're the type of person that procrastinates, which I really think is everyone in this universe. So don't pretend you're not a procrastinator, because you probably are. So if you're like me and you're a procrastinator, I made myself adhere to those deadlines, except for twice. One of the times, well, actually both times, it was worth it because I was just really busy with work, and the weekends I traveled somewhere, I went on vacation. But I could have kind of completed the assignment by the recommended due date, but I preferred to wait a couple extra days and really go over my paper. And that was the first time I had gotten an A on a paper. And I was like, good, I'm glad I did this. So that's a whole different discussion. Obviously, when you don't procrastinate on your work and you give yourself plenty of time, you're going to do better work. But online MBAs, I think, really allow you to have that extra time, if you need to take it, to refine your work and do well. Because that's the whole point of going to college or learning in the first place. It's not to get a check in the box. It's to get better. So I don't feel bad about taking those extra few days for 2 of the projects. Okay. I don't think that I had anything else to talk about. So if you have any questions about UMUC, the hybrid online, living in Okinawa, because that's where I live, and how that worked out for how that relates to education, not anything else really. But if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll probably do like 1 video per class, maybe 2 if it rates it, if it seems like I should. I'm gonna stop rambling now. Have a great day, guys. Hope you do online MBAs that are cheap. I'd recommend it. Okay.